Radio wisdom.
Now, before we jump in, think about this. When was the last time you found yourself spiraling into a cycle of worry? Do you often find your mind racing with worries about the future, the unknown, or even the little things that seem to pile up? Are you feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges? I often find myself in that same boat, battling these relentless waves of anxiety. Sometimes it feels like I'm just waiting for the next wave of worry to crash over me, whether it's about money, health, or just the general state of the world. It's exhausting. But what if, instead of stressing over what we can't control, we learn to embrace acceptance and focus on what truly matters? Stick with us as we unpack practical Stoic techniques that not only ease our minds, but also empower us to take charge of our lives amidst adversity. Trust me, you won't want to miss this transformative journey. I remember when I first stumbled upon this experience, and I can honestly say it changed my life in ways I never expected. So seriously, make sure to stay until the end of the video. I promise you'll get some valuable takeaways that could spark your own journey of transformation. There's something incredibly powerful about sharing experiences with others, and I can't wait for you to hear all the little nuggets of wisdom I've gathered along the way. Now, without further ado, let's get started. One of the first and most powerful lessons I learned from Stoicism is the importance of focusing on what's within my control. We've all been there, overwhelmed by circumstances that seem beyond our grasp. Epictetus, however, offers simple but powerful advice. Focus on what we can control. He famously said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." By narrowing our attention to actions and thoughts within our control, we avoid expending energy on things we can't change. This doesn't just make life more manageable, it actually empowers us to act more effectively within our sphere of influence. Seneca also chimes in with valuable advice, teaching us to redirect our worries into areas where we can make a difference. He pointed out, "Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. Rather than being dragged by uncontrollable events, we can choose to be led by our own deliberate actions and attitudes." Marcus Aurelius, too, reinforces this point by urging us to concentrate on our own responses. He says, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." These timeless pieces of wisdom remind us that by focusing on what we can control, we lighten our mental load, make better decisions, and ultimately live a more peaceful life. Accepting what we can't change is one of those life lessons that sounds a lot easier than it actually is. Rather than being dragged down by the chaos around us, Seneca encourages us to practice acceptance. After all, why spend our precious mental energy fighting battles we can't win? He reminds us that there are things in the universe we simply have no control over. Epictetus echoes this sentiment, advising us to differentiate between what lies within our power and what doesn't. Marcus Aurelius, too, reflects this wisdom, stating, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By accepting what we can't change, we free ourselves from needless frustration and open up space for tranquility. By embracing this mindset, we can focus on making meaningful changes where we actually have influence. Seneca eloquently puts it, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." When we accept life's unpredictability and stop yearning for total control, we paradoxically gain greater command over our own well-being. We stop being passive victims of circumstance and become active participants in our own lives. This is how we find peace amid the storm, by embracing Stoic wisdom and channeling our energy into what truly matters. One of the most powerful pieces of advice you can take to heart is to live in the present moment. It might sound a bit cliché, but there's something truly liberating about focusing on the now, rather than getting tangled up in the past or stressing about the future. Rather than being constantly mired in worries about the past or future, we should take a page from Marcus Aurelius and focus on living fully in the present moment. He wisely notes, "Confine yourself to the present." It's easy to get lost in the what-ifs and could-have-beens, but these distractions only pull us away from what's right in front of us. Epictetus also reminds us that we should keep our minds on the present tasks, stating, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" Living in the now allows us to put our energy into what we can actually influence, rather than wasting it on futile concerns. Seneca adds another layer to this by encouraging us to savor the present. He says, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." There's a profound sense of peace that comes from truly experiencing the moment, free from the chains of past regrets and future fears. When we immerse ourselves in the present, we can appreciate the small joys and triumphs that we might otherwise overlook. So let's heed the wisdom of these Stoic philosophers and make a conscious effort to ground ourselves in the here and now, finding contentment and strength in each passing moment. Detaching from external outcomes can be a real challenge for many of us. When we immerse ourselves in the present, we begin to see how much energy we waste fretting over outcomes we can't control. Epictetus offers powerful wisdom here. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This Stoic idea shifts our focus inward, emphasizing our responses rather than the events themselves. Seneca echoes this by suggesting that we often suffer more in imagination than in reality, urging us to master our minds. He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary, he says. By detaching from the need for specific outcomes, we can cultivate a mindset that remains steady and resilient, even amidst life's unpredictabilities. Marcus Aurelius, too, encourages us to maintain this inner tranquility regardless of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius's quote, which I already quoted earlier, resonates deeply, especially in today's fast-paced world, where we often feel overwhelmed by external pressures and events. When he says, "You have power over your mind, not outside events," he's really highlighting an essential truth. Our thoughts and perceptions shape our experiences more than what's happening around us. It's a freeing realization that we can let go of the illusion of control over external events and instead focus on our inner responses and attitudes. The wisdom from these Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, invites us to redirect our energy toward what we can govern, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. By doing so, we can cultivate a sense of peace and resilience that doesn't waver with the changing tides of fortune. Practice gratitude every single day. As we navigate through life's challenges, the practice of gratitude becomes a foundational Stoic principle that can truly transform our outlook. Seneca's wisdom reminds us to appreciate the present and acknowledge the abundance we already possess. He once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." By focusing on what we have, rather than what we lack, we anchor ourselves in a state of contentment, reducing anxiety about what may or may not come. Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius all emphasize the power of gratitude. Epictetus advises us to make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. In essence, by valuing our current blessings, we foster a mindset that welcomes whatever comes our way, good or bad. Marcus Aurelius adds, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This simple reflection shifts our attention to the positives, helping us to cultivate resilience and a sense of peace, even in turbulent times. By practicing gratitude daily, we're not just surviving life's trials, we're thriving through them. Reflect on our actions daily. Our days are busy, and it's easy to get lost in the shuffle. But taking a moment to look back at our actions can be incredibly grounding. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of daily reflection. He believed that by evaluating our behaviors and decisions each day, we can better align ourselves with our values and principles. In his words, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This means that our inner world shapes our outer actions, and vice versa, making it crucial to be mindful of both. Epictetus and Seneca also championed the idea of self-examination. Epictetus encouraged us to review our day by asking, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? What did I omit that I could have done better? This kind of introspection helps us to grow and learn from our experiences. Seneca suggested that reflecting on our day can help clear our minds and put things into perspective, noting, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. By taking the time to reflect, we can better manage our worries and keep them in check, thus steering our lives with greater clarity and purpose. Embrace challenges as growth opportunities. When we're faced with tough situations, it's helpful to shift our perspective and view these challenges as stepping stones for growth. Epictetus reminds us that difficulties are inherent in life and that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This Stoic mindset encourages us to see obstacles as opportunities to strengthen our resilience and develop new skills. Instead of letting challenges overwhelm us, we can approach them with curiosity and the intent to learn. Seneca and Marcus Aurelius both echo this sentiment. Seneca, in his letters, often pointed out that adversity is a chance to test our virtues and fortitude. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body, he noted. Marcus Aurelius, writing in his Meditations, observed that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This powerful insight teaches us that every hurdle we face can propel us forward if we choose to leverage it constructively. By embracing challenges, we enhance our capacity to thrive in the face of adversity. Simplify our desires and wants. Let's be honest for a second. It's pretty common to find ourselves caught up in the endless pursuit of wanting more in our lives. Whether it's craving that shiny new gadget, new house, new car, dreaming about the perfect job, or envisioning a life filled with luxurious vacations, there's always that nagging feeling that we could be doing or having something better. I'm definitely no exception to this. I often catch myself daydreaming about what life would be like if I had just a little more and better things. But when we take a step back, we realize that true contentment doesn't come from accumulating stuff. Epictetus wisely pointed out, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By simplifying our desires, we free ourselves from the constant chase of material things and find more peace in what we already have. Seneca also had some wisdom on this front, suggesting that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This is a powerful reminder that our endless cravings often lead to dissatisfaction. Marcus Aurelius, too, advocated for a simpler life. He says, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. By focusing on what truly matters, like relationships and personal growth, rather than external possessions, we can lead more fulfilling lives. Seek inner peace through mindfulness. Mindfulness is like a breath of fresh air in our cluttered, busy minds. We often get swept away by worries about the future or regrets about the past. But Marcus Aurelius reminded us, confine yourself to the present. By practicing mindfulness, we root ourselves in the moment, experiencing life as it is happening rather than as we fear it might be or wish it had been. Epictetus really knew what he was talking about when he said, man is not worried by real problems, so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. When we become mindful, we can see these imagined anxieties for what they are and let them go. Seneca added another layer to this by teaching us to be more accepting of what we cannot control. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, he wrote. It's about letting go of the need to control everything and instead appreciating the moment we're in. By embracing mindfulness, we can ease the mental burden of what-ifs and should-haves, finding inner peace in the here and now. Remember, we're stronger than circumstances. When we think about the challenges we face, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but let's take a cue from the Stoics like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. They remind us that our inner strength is far greater than any external circumstance. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This hits home when we consider that our power lies in our response, not in the situation itself. Life isn't always a walk in the park. There are obstacles, tough times, and moments when you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. But instead of viewing these difficulties as roadblocks, Seneca encourages us to see them as opportunities for growth. Every tough situation is an opportunity for growth, a way to build our resilience and mental fortitude. Think about it. No matter how chaotic things get, we have the ability to control how we respond. Remember, Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of our reactions over the events themselves. He believed that while we can't always control what happens to us, we do have the power to manage our thoughts and feelings about those events. By internalizing these teachings, we start to see that no matter what life throws our way, we have the strength to not just endure, but to thrive.
Radio Wisdom.
Just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button on our channel if you haven't already. We love hearing from you, so don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts on our latest videos. Your feedback means a lot to us and helps us create even more of the content you enjoy. And if you're finding value in what we do, a little thumbs up goes a long way in supporting our channel. It's a simple way to show some love. And if you're looking to enjoy our content without any interruptions, we've got you covered. Just head over to our website, radiowisdom.org, where you can dive into a treasure trove of ancient wisdom completely commercial-free. It's the perfect spot to soak up knowledge and insights that have stood the test of time. So, whether you're commuting, chilling at home, or just looking to expand your horizons, we've got something special waiting for you. Thanks for being part of our community.